Okay, welcome back to Module 2. This is going to be quick. Here we're going to focus on setting up the building in which our AI employee lives. We're going to be using what's called a VPS, or a virtual private server, which is a remote server that's housed on a data center somewhere else. The benefits of this is it keeps your data secure by not having your OpenClaw agent able to exist on your own personal device and have access to all of your details and your personal identity. So that's the main benefit, it's secure. The second benefit is it's on 24/7. So no matter where you are in the world, if you're traveling, if your laptop's at home and there's a power cut or whatever the case is, you don't need to have your computers plugged in and online all the time. It's going to be working no matter where you are. As long as you have your phone, you'll be able to communicate with your agent, and it's able to work in its own environment. So say you want to code a website or an app or have it do some task, it's able to do that inside its own computer. And that's a really great thing for just having that flexibility and being able to talk to it like it's an agent or an employee, rather than it just being something running on your own software. So it gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of great benefits to doing it this way. So let's get into it. We're going to be using DigitalOcean. This is what I recommend, and it's just a really easy way to get started. There's plenty of other options out there for you, but for me, this is just the one I like to use. If you go to the expanded modules and you go to the VPS section, you'll find a link for DigitalOcean. If you sign up with that link, you'll get $200 in credit, which basically means you'll be able to run this for almost a year for free. So I recommend using that if you haven't already logged into DigitalOcean. So go find that link, and then you'll be brought to DigitalOcean's website where you'll sign up and you'll log in. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to click over to my dashboard. So this is my dashboard. We're just going to be presented with this page, and it should say your first project. All we have to do here is click on this button here, which says create droplet. A droplet is your VPS. It's a instance of a virtual computer that your agent is going to be able to use. So you can think of it like your own computer, your laptop or whatever. It's basically a laptop that's in the cloud, and it's got an operating system, it's got files. It's exactly the same as your computer, but it's just virtual and it exists in the cloud. So let's set one of these up. We're going to go create droplet, and then we're going to just scroll down. We can leave pretty much all the settings to default for now. Ubuntu, so this is a Linux operating system that we're going to be using. And we're going to scroll down, we're going to keep it on basic. Then we're going to click on regular, just we only need the cheap one for now. Obviously, the more you do with it, the more resources you may need, but the one I found that works quite well is this one, $24 a month. That's the maximum you're going to spend on this VPS per month. It actually charges you based on the hour that it's been running, which you can see is just over 3 cents an hour. You can see up here, this is my cost for the month so far. So if you set this up and you make some mistakes and you want to go through it again, you can just turn it off and delete it and start again, and you're not going to be paying $24 a month up front every time. You'll only pay for the number of hours that it was actually operational. So it's a really great benefit. So we need this one basically because of the 4 gigabytes CPU and the RAM that it has. So that's going to allow us to actually run some different apps, especially when we're building websites or any kind of like intensive processes. We don't want to be like running out of memory, which can happen if you have too many things going on. So we've got that one. We scroll down. Now here, there's 2 ways that we can authenticate ourselves to log into our server. One is with our SSH key. This is the best way to do it. It's more secure, but it is slightly more technical. So we're just going to use password for now. We can set this up later on when we get into more advanced modules below. So let's just choose a password. I'm going to click in here and just go suggest strong password. And I'm going to go use strong password. And you can see here that it says cannot end in a number or special character. So let's just click here and put it to a letter. Okay. So that's good. We've got that. Now we're going to scroll down. One thing to note, make sure, is that you save this password. So just unhide it and copy it. But I'm just going to save it in my browser for use later. So let's scroll down. And I'm going to put it in my first project because I have my own OpenClaw instance there. You can just call this whatever you want. I'm going to call it OpenClaw 2. Okay. Actually, I'll call it Claw Scalers. Alright. Now let's click Create Droplet. And again, just like I said before, we're not going to be charged this right now. We'll only start accruing cost based on this hourly rate right here. So let's create the droplet. Let's save this. I'm going to save it to root 2 because I already have some other ones set up, and go save. And this is going to be important for using our password in the future when we want to log in. All right, so we've got our droplets. You can find them here under droplets in the left menu. And you can see that it's kind of booting up right now. We're going to click into it. And then this here is the building that your agent is going to live in. So that's all for now. What we're going to do next is actually open our server up and install OpenClaw on it. So I'll see you in the next video.